Wednesday. Every Wednesday, check to see which of your breakfast, lunch, or dinner faves is free. Bye.
Live 6 is weather coverage you can count on. The Live Viper 6 Skyview Network, sponsored by Terry Lambert Hyundai.
We have a lot going on Live Viper 6. We have some heavy rain coming down, leading to aerial flood advisories to be issued, and also special weather statements for wind gusts up to 50 miles per hour. I'll have all those details coming up.
Right now on News Channel 6 at 4, the future of a downtown Augusta monument. We're going to take a look at those plans for you.
Plus, parking issues ahead for one local high school. How the Columbia County School District is helping students, parents, and buses adapt to the temporary change.
And getting ready for a huge tax-free weekend. Everybody's so excited about it. Well, what to expect when you go to the stores? As World News at 4 starts now.
Live from Television Park, this is WJBF News Channel 6 at 4.
And I'm Jenny Montgomery. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll get to those stories in just a moment, but first, let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Jenna Petracci.
Yeah, Jenna, some pretty good rain so far today, and more is on the way.
That's exactly right. We've had some very heavy downpours, and that's amounting to a lot of rain accumulation in places like Aiken and Jenkins County. You can see we have a few different polygons popping up here, some of those for flooding, other for the strong storms. But right now you can see on our Terry Lambert Hyundai Skyview cam, the rain is pretty light at the moment over at the Amentum Center in Aiken, but just a moment ago it was coming down pretty heavy. You can see how wet it is outside now on the streets, with Live Viper 6 showing this aerial flood advisory for parts of Aiken County outside of downtown, but this does include New Ellington, and it's for these heavy downpours here that once again are leading to around 2 to 4 inches of rain. Latest update actually showing nearly 5 inches of rain around Oak Hill and over into Mount Mula area. Also up towards the north, Edgefield County under an aerial flood advisory until 6 o'clock. No rain at the moment, but they did get a lot earlier, and more is on the way. Down towards the south in Jenkins County, that flood advisory has now expired, and all of the rain is pushing down towards the south, so that's good news. Notice Millen has picked up on around 3 to 4 inches of rain as well, just within an hour. Up towards the northwest, we have this special weather statement until 4:15, and that's for this line here that's now into Tolliver and parts of Hancock County. Definitely some very gusty winds coming through Crawfordville right now, and possibly up to those 50-mile-per-hour gusts. Temperatures are anywhere from the upper 70s through upper 80s, so cooler in the places with the rain, but a lot of us are still pretty warm. 87 in Gibson, 86 in Saluda, Augusta right now at 82. The winds are overall pretty light outside of the thunderstorms coming in from the southwest up to around 5 to 10 miles per hour. We'll continue to see the upper 70s for the most part, with the chance of storms through the evening. Now coming up, I'll have a look at the forecast for the rest of the week because we will have some changes, but back to you.
All right, Jenna, thank you. Coverage you can count on continues in Richmond County, where a toddler at the center of a child abuse case has died. The victim is identified as 2-year-old Rayshawn Roberts. The child was found unresponsive in a bathtub on July 24th on Cross Tree Court. Denisha McLennan is charged with child cruelty in this case. No word yet if those charges will be upgraded now that Rayshawn has died. An Aiken man faces murder charges in connection to a shooting that claimed the life of a 16-year-old basketball star from Virginia. 18-year-old Gary Abraham is charged with murder and 3 counts of attempted murder. He appeared in a Myrtle Beach municipal court this afternoon where bond was not set. Abraham is accused in the July 20th shooting of Jacoby Taylor, who was in Myrtle Beach for a basketball tournament. He'll face a circuit court judge next month.
Downtown Augusta Memorial could soon stand.
Allow us to move forward. We are only a week away from starting school in most of our Georgia counties.
Yes, some are winding down in Columbia County. Some schools that are under construction having to make some adjustments now.
Hannah Latier is live at Lakeside High School with updates. Hannah?
Brad, Jenny, some older schools in the district are getting upgrades, disrupting operations, but there is a plan in place. The brand new Westmont Elementary School's open house has been moved to Sunday to make time for finishing touches. Lakeside's student parking lot is still under construction, so there is a new traffic and parking plan in place for the start of the school year. Students can park at Lakeside Park, the athletic complex, or the lot across from the running track. Similar construction will begin soon at Evans High School.
People from Lakeside probably have already seen that progress happening. I think both areas are going to feel a little bit of traffic difficulty this year, and then parking will be a challenge until we get the new parking lots paved. That'll probably be sometime first, second semester when that'll happen.
And we'll have a link at WJBF.com with more information about how the school district plans to handle traffic flow. And coming up at 5, we'll hear from some Lakeside parents about what they think about the updates. For now, live in Evans, Hannah Latier, WJBF News Channel 6.
Allendale County schools are back in the classroom this week, and there are changes for the new year. The district trying to boost safety with metal detectors. Everybody has to go through one when they go to school. And the staff's going to do random wanding. The number of students who get wanded each day is going to change. They won't announce it as well.
We've had problems with vaping. We've had problems with the cell phones coming in. So we want to make sure that that all our children are following the rules that are enforced or that are set out in our behavior code of conduct.
Also, if a student brings a cell phone to school, it'll be confiscated and put in a lockbox. South Carolina's annual sales tax holiday starts Friday. This sales tax holiday in South Carolina, always a big deal, helping to help people save money on their school supplies. Bria Smith here now to tell us what people had to say, people who are going to benefit from this. Bria?
That's right, Brad. It happens every year, but folks I spoke with say it's more important now, more than ever, with inflation for most things rising. It gives people the chance to spend on selected items without having to also pay the state's 6% sales tax. It'll be on things like typical school supplies, including computers and technology, clothing, and more. With the high cost of various items ranging from food to car maintenance, home goods, and more, folks tell me they're glad to get even a little bit taken off those costs.
Because the cost of everything is so high. What you bought 2 years ago is probably doubled now. So it's really high, and I'm an accountant, so numbers is my thing, so I really pay attention to stuff like that.
Again, those dates are August 2nd to the 4th, and an item overview of the things that won't be taxed starting Friday can be found on WJBF.com. Jenny?
And thank you so much. AAA's Schools Open Drive Carefully tour kicked off today at North Harlem Elementary School. The goal is to remind all drivers of school bus safety on the roads and to watch as students are getting on and off the bus. A new Georgia law stiffens the penalty for drivers who illegally pass a stopped school bus. So pay attention to school zones and pedestrians.
Schools are back in session, and really that's the main message. And not only are the motorists going to be back on the road, but they're going to be traveling through these school zones that have been closed for the summer. In addition, there are children that are going to be getting off the bus, that are going to be walking to school. So it's just important to pay attention to the rules of the road so that any injuries or fatalities can be eliminated during the school season.
Drivers who are convicted for illegally passing a school bus in Georgia now face up to a $1,000 fine and up to 12 months in jail, or both. You've heard a lot about ketamine, sometimes called Special K, in the news. Today, or rather Tuesday on Jenny, get a fresh perspective about the medical benefits of the drug. The area's first ketamine infusion clinic recently opened in Evans. It's an innovative treatment option for various conditions, including chronic pain, detox, and drug-resistant depression. Medical Director Lauren Bursey says these 40-minute infusions can also help people with OCD, PTSD, and anxiety.
How many treatments would be effective?
So clinical data shows that 6 treatments over 28 days. Most patients will come in for an infusion on a Tuesday, a Thursday, and we do that the whole way through if that works for them. We have several patients who have come to us straight from alcohol detox, and so we do more intensive therapy and close monitoring with them over those 28 days. Some patients who have had trauma, they've had child loss, and so they do maybe 4 or 5 infusions.
Much more about Elevated Health Augusta Infusion Clinic, plus a look ahead to a Women's Wholeness Conference at the Kroc Center, and how you can support the 4th annual Stuff the Bus event for Columbia County Schools. It's all coming up tomorrow at 12:30 on Jenny. Coming up, a teddy bear is what one mother holds in place of her son who was stillborn.
And she is pushing for some brand new legislation to be passed to try to prevent other moms from feeling her pain. We'll tell you about it.
And right now we have some strong storms moving in, possibly producing up to 50 mile per hour wind gusts and frequent clouds and ground lightning. And on top of that, all of the heavy rain is leading to some minor flooding. I'll have more details coming up. Hi,
WJBF's Television Park Productions. Our mission is to provide local businesses with top quality video and digital content at an affordable price. With decades of experience, our award-winning creative team will guide you step by step through the creative process, resulting in a successful marketing message for your brand. Over the years, we've helped hundreds of local businesses expand their voice. Visit WJBF.com/creative to find out how we can do the same for you. News Channel 6, the United Way, and the Giving Your Best partners want to give special thanks to all our viewers who helped us stuff the bus, preparing local students for a successful school year. Thank you for giving your best.
President Joe Biden recently signed a bipartisan bill that provides resources for research and prevention of stillbirth.
The new law aims to save the lives of babies, and as Maggie Newland tells us, it's close to the heart of a mom in North Carolina.
Anna Lepe-Vick shares her son's story every chance she gets.
I think about him every day, every moment of my life.
She clutches a teddy bear his exact size.
I carry this around as a reminder to people because it's his length and his weight. And, you know, he was almost full term.
But Owen didn't make it to his due date. 31 weeks into what Anna calls a textbook perfect pregnancy, she noticed a change in her unborn son's movement that sent her rushing to the ER.
I just had like my alarm bells ringing. It was just like I was terrified, crying. And about an hour later, the doctor arrived and they said, we're going to have to take him out. Unfortunately, his heart rate was crashing. I woke up to be told my baby had died.
She later learned a problem with Owen's umbilical cord caused her son's stillbirth. But the most painful questions remained.
How am I going to live without my baby? Like, how am I going to be his mother still? I'm his mother. What am I going to do?
While she doesn't have Owen in her arms, he is in her heart as she pleads with legislators to pass laws to help prevent stillbirth.
He's the reason I open my mouth every day to talk about it because babies should not be dying like this. And I don't believe that my son died like in vain. He needs to have a legacy now of helping babies survive, and that's what I'm doing for him.
Now his legacy includes a new law. The Maternal and Child Health Stillbirth Prevention Act of 2024 enables federal funds to be used for stillbirth prevention activities like education campaigns about tracking babies' movement, screenings for risk factors during pregnancy, and community-based support programs.
It's just like a load off our shoulders because we know, other families will have a better chance in this country now.
An honor for Owen and all of the grieving families who share their stories of children they lost to stillbirth.
I think it gives people some hope, makes them feel like, the babies that they had are being remembered, and they are. They're the reason this change is happening.
Anna says she and other families are lobbying lawmakers to pass additional legislation.
The goal to provide funding for better data collection and research into stillbirth prevention.
Weather headlines on WJBF News Channel 6. Brought to you by Hickson Roofing. If your roof needs fixing, call Mr. Hickson. Safe Homes of Augusta, helping Georgia recognize the hidden crime in domestic violence.
Motorcycle crashes almost always result in serious injuries because there's nothing between the biker and another car, truck, or the pavement. The injuries can be debilitating and permanent. Cost and recovery time, overwhelming. If you've been injured in a motorcycle accident, you need serious help, and you need it now. Injured? Call Austin Jackson, the Augusta guy. 706-724-7224. 706-724-7224.
Did I...
Now, your most accurate forecast forecast with WJBF Live Viper 6.
Welcome back. I hope you're having a nice Monday so far, and hopefully you're dodging these storms. Now, not the entire CSRA is dealing with this. It's just mostly our northwestern counties, and we also have spotty showers and storms across a few other counties, but this is the main line that we're watching now. The special weather statement has now extended a little bit further east, including parts of Warren County now, over Norwood and Warrenton, so this line is pushing towards Warrenton now. They notice all of the lightning strikes around Crawfordville and even up towards the north of that as well. So this special weather statement is for the possibility of 50-mile-per-hour wind gusts, along with that frequent cloud-to-ground lightning. And of course, we're also monitoring for the chance of flooding. Over in Edgefield County, we have an aerial flood advisory, including Edgefield itself and Trenton. Notice no rain at the moment, but they already received around 1 to 2 inches, and any rainfall tonight, in addition to that, could lead to some minor flooding. Over in Aiken County, we have had these storms lingering, but finally they're starting to move out. Burnett Town and Aiken now dry. All of this rain is around New Ellington, and this aerial flood advisory goes until 6:15. A lot of rain has been dumped around Aiken County, around 2 to even 5 inches around this area of Oak Hill down to New Ellington to the north of Johnson's Crossroads. Now also Jenkins County picked up a lot of rain, seeing around 3 to 4 inches right over Millen. That was a flood advisory earlier. That has now expired with the rain moving to the south. You can see how stormy it is outside as we take a look over at our Terry Lambert Hyundai Skyview cam at SRP Park. 83 degrees right now, still feeling very humid, sitting at 91 for that heat index. Seeing a lot of low to upper 80s, 85 in Crawfordville, 82 in Waynesboro, Augusta only in those upper 70s, or Aiken in the upper 70s, 80 now in Bamberg, 79 in Allendale. We have this trough of low pressure across the CSRA. That's the reason for all the storms this afternoon and evening, and we continue to have a threat of severe weather for the rest of today for the damaging wind gusts. And then for tomorrow, July 30th, we will also have that marginal risk across the entire CSRA. So for your Tuesday, there will be the chance of rain pretty much throughout the day. Still a lot of uncertainty with the timing on that. We'll get into it in a moment. But going with a 50% chance of rain for your Tuesday, definitely ending the month of July on a wet note. We picked up over 8 inches so far for the month, going way above our average rainfall of under 5. So for tonight, around 5 o'clock, there's that line that we're watching. Still holds together a little bit as it moves through parts of Richmond County down to Emmanuel. Most of our South Carolina counties will avoid a lot of the impacts from that line, and then will dry out by around 10, 11 o'clock. So let's pick things up again Tuesday at 8 a.m. One particular model showing this mesoscale convective system, as we call it, developing here. And this would bring impacts in the late morning through afternoon with, once again, that gusty wind potential. Now, I will say we have other model runs that are showing this developing way later in the day. So just be sure to keep an eye on radar throughout the day. Know that there is the possibility of those damaging wind gusts. And on top of all of that, we're also watching the tropics. It's finally starting to heat up, and we have this potential area development at a 50% chance. Very large cone here, but nonetheless, this system could move anywhere between the Gulf Coast and the Atlantic, bringing us some impacts late next week. And if this does become a named storm, it would be Debbie. So, of course, we will keep you updated on the tropics and our severe weather threat here at home. High rain chances tomorrow again. A few storms around on Wednesday. Then as we go into the first couple of days of August, we are heating up. Mid to upper 90s and lower rain chances.
Jenna, I'm trying to understand here, and so I did a little Googling. An aerial flooding event is almost like the opposite of flash flooding. It's a cumulative thing, yeah? After hours and hours of rain. Whereas flash flooding can happen fast.
Flash flooding is very fast. It's over a shorter area. Aerial flood advisory means a large area. So that's why it's including large portion of Edgefield, Aiken County. Still over a short period of time, but not as significant as a flash flooding event.
Okay, good. Thank you for clearing that up. Coming up, a unique presentation of Star Wars history, costumes, and characters.
A new museum now open in South Carolina. We'll tell you all about it next.
Popeyes had the best of both. WJBF News Channel 6 wants you to join our team. We're looking for talented applicants in a variety of fields. To see a current list of job openings, visit WJBF.com/workforce6. Join our team today.
There is a new Star Wars exhibit not in a galaxy far, far away.
Instead, it's in a history museum in the Carolinas. It's at the Upcountry Museum in Greenville and is called Finding the Force, Awakening an Empire. Star Wars history, characters, even original costumes are on display.
You can also learn how new characters and plots were created throughout the years of the popular movie franchise. More coverage in your countdown coming up at 4:30.
We're going to tell you about a plan to change the Supreme Court, a proposal at least from the president, plus more time.